Listen, bitch, I'm shooting 3-pointers, ain't no laying up. None of my niggas bodybuilders, we just weighing up. I listened to your album twice and you ain't saying nothing.
ATA gang, we in here. Clutch gang, we in here. Welcome back to the All the Above podcast, Late night, man. Late night thoughts I contemplated on this information I'm getting ready to put out for quite some time. And I decided that, my channel is gonna be, all the above. There's literally ain't no telling what you're gonna see on here. But today, this morning, I will be talking about my endeavors and me being incarcerated in Florida a couple different times. I was incarcerated in a couple other states. Moorish sovereignty, the knowledge of my homeland, Maghreb al-Aqsa, ancient Moorish Amexem Empire, which it is still today known as the ancient Moorish Amexem Empire, Maghreb al-Aqsa, the ninth gate. We are the keepers of the ninth gate, the brothers and sisters of this land, this Moorish land that is known as present-day America. And fact, not fiction, that this is known as the United States of America on paperwork, literally on paperwork, not the physical land. There are ancient principles that we have forgotten, not only forgotten, but has been, mainly taken and stripped away from us. Culture. The Moors are known as, present day black people. Black is an unlawful status. White is a lawful status. And this is a picture of brother Jay-Z and sister Beyonce. They know. That's why he has the 5%er logo around his neck. He knows exactly who we are. She knows exactly who we are. How could they be devil worshippers? Where did they go wrong in life? They're happy. They're in love. They have a beautiful family together. Where did they go wrong in life? They are haves and we are have-nots for multiple different reasons that I could talk about, but maybe I can touch back on that before the video is over with. But just know that no, brother Jay-Z, sister Beyonce they're not devil worshippers. They are in tune with their culture. They know that they are standing on their homeland and they know who they are. So, and you can't take that away from them. Once you know, you know. So, I'll say maybe, let's see here, 2015, give or take. I went to jail. I went to jail for, I think, dealing in stolen properties. I had a couple felonies and shit. So I went to jail for that. And I knew the knowledge back then. But I was terrified for whatever reason to use it. I don't know why I was terrified, but my fears were overtaking me. And I ended up paying for it because I knew that what I was supposed to do when I got there, I didn't do it. When I first started studying, I didn't want to be one of the brothers to not use the knowledge. I didn't want to be one of the brothers, so-called, quote unquote, a part of the conscious community and not be wholehearted with the knowledge. My job is to take your mind and to expand it, or to maybe just simply mentally and spiritually tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, you were sleeping. Hey, wake up. Hey, you were sleeping. Wake up. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to, sometimes I would think late at night and I would be in tears because I'm like, Lord, what do you need me to do? I know I'm put here for a reason. What do you need me to do? And, my spirit just told me to study. And I started studying everything, man. I studied anything old, ancient, and black. I was on it. I studied it. The Bible, Quran, different information, any type of. I was a sponge. I wanted to know it all. I wanted to see it all, and I wanted to be it all. So I went to jail. The end result was probation for 10 years. I guess they so-called, quote-unquote, took it easy on me. They only took it easy on me because I didn't have an extensive criminal record. My criminal record is there, but it's not extensive. I can count on one hand how many times I went to jail. About 4 or 5 times I went to jail. So I think that's what it was. But if they can, put the nail in the coffin, that's what they're gonna do, because that's what they're there for. The courts are a money-making system, and because everyone is asleep, not all, but most are asleep, we don't know what law is. We don't know who started all this. And most of the world is still ran off of ancient Moorish principles, ancient Islamic principles. And it's not, when I say Islam, I don't mean the religion, Islam. I don't mean that. I mean ancient Moorish principles, astronomy, astrology, numerology. We knew how to grow stuff. We knew how to build stuff. No one can duplicate the pyramid to this day. All these, keep in mind, pyramids are just not in Africa. They're all over the world. There are Moorish pyramids in the Grand Canyons that they refuse to acknowledge because they know who we are. They know before the European came into existence, we already had circumnavigated the planet millions and millions of years. The lineage of quote-unquote black people supersedes this planet, supersedes everything, man. We are the original seed, and yet we are so lost. So, I didn't want to be like that. I didn't get into the knowledge to say, I know this, and, at the end of the day, your life ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? So everybody that's using the knowledge, everybody that is using these things, are doing well in life, are trying to tap in to their ancient principles, or just simple things that we used to do, see, and know, are, they're living a good life, man. And I pray that one day I see that. Not really, I don't care about money. I just want to know that everything will be taken care of. And that's just something spiritually that I will have to get through on my own. Okay, fast forward, get out of jail. Everything is horrible. I hate checking in every month. So I said, Lord, I know this stuff, and I know this stuff. And I fasted. During I think it was maybe 2019. I fasted for 33 days, water fast, and I did some urine therapy. Look up urine therapy. I did some urine therapy, and I fasted for 33 days. And it's supposed to be 40 days, 40 nights, but I didn't make it. I ended up throwing up the lining of my stomach. I didn't want to hurt myself, and I stopped. But during that time, all I did was study. And I got up and I put on a nice dress shirt. I put on my burgundy bow tie, and I put on my nice little get up, and I went to my probation officer, and I handed her my Moorish paperwork. And I explained to her. She asked me, what was this? And I told her that she asked me, what were you doing? She kept trying to refer to me as, the corporation of Christopher Michael Jackson, which that's literally what it is. Because when you cross the threshold of the tribunal, you are a business. You are a money-making business. And a physical flesh and blood body has to be responsible for this. So, Christopher Michael Jackson, she kept trying to refer to me as, and I said, I didn't say for the record because we weren't in the tribunal. So I told her my, Moorish title is Michael Harambe. And, it went from anger. It went from anger to curiosity instantly. And I talked with, she was a nice lady, man. She was a nice lady that worked for the government. And, who am I to knock what you do? I'm just not going to work for them, but who am I to knock what you do? So she was a very nice lady. She was very sweet. And she was like, well, what can we do with this? And I said, violate me. Just violate me. Violate me, and we'll go from there. And she was like, okay, I don't want to do that, or such and such. It took, right hand to God, man. It took them, about 3-4 months for them to finally violate me. I haven't showed up to the probation office. I stopped answering their calls. I stopped doing everything. And it took them about 4 months to violate me because I just didn't understand what the hell was going on. And it really wasn't meant for you to know, because prior to that, I had, before I told myself I was going to stand on my square, I said, I wrote the judge as the corporation of Christopher Michael Jackson, and she denied me. So I printed out the Moorish seal. I printed out a couple of necessary documents, just, couple pieces of paper. I think it was like a declaration, a Moorish declaration form where I'm just pretty much formally announcing who I am, in propria persona sui juris, for the record, amongst the tribunal. And that's what I did. I mailed it off, and I didn't hear a peep. I didn't hear a peep from the judge. And at this point in time, I was not necessarily homeless, but I was staying with my mom, getting ready to make a transition. And I was leaving, and the police were looking for me, and I knew what they wanted. And I had a dream that I was going to have to go before the tribunal and face them. I had a dream. And God was just saying, you're going to have to go face them, because this is the only way it's going to go away. You're going to have to go through the process, which nobody does. I went from contemplating my freedom to going into the dungeon full force, full head on, So, second time I get arrested was for drug charges. I had some heroin and some other shit, living the life I shouldn't be living. But still having to do what the hell I had to do. So I went and I get booked, and I get booked into 33rd, and they were like, they gave me my little blanket and my little setup and my bunk bed, and by the time, man, that was a stressful day. By the time I had got to the jail, well, inside the jail, by the time I had got to where the rest area was, it was like maybe 2 a.m, and man, it literally took 8 or 9 hours for me to get booked. I was pissed off. I was tired, and I had to get right back up at like 4 to go to first appearance. Now, I went to first appearance twice, and because I was only in jail for 33 days, but I went to first appearance twice, and I went to court 5 times in a month's time. So I wake up, the guards come wake a bunch of group of guys up, and we're walking to first appearance, and eventually we're waiting in the cold cell, and they're calling people one by one up to the the public defenders and the paralegals and public defenders. They're asking you if you want to receive legal counsel. So they call the corporation of Christopher M. Jackson. So I walk up to the paralegal, and she says, will you be needing legal counsel, Mr. Jackson? And I'm like, no, I'm legally competent. I said, I won't be needing legal counsel. I am legally competent to govern my own affairs. Legally competent to govern my own affairs. And she says, are you sure? I said, yes. She said, Mr. Jackson, it's such and such. I said, no. I said, for the record, my Moorish title is Micah Haran Bey. And she looked at me. She looked at me with this look. And I said, impropria persona sui juris. Nothing more, nothing less. And she was like, oh, per se. Now, per se is different from impropria persona sui juris. She didn't know I knew the difference between impropria persona sui juris and per se. Per se is like, they can still come into your jurisdiction, and you're not really in your proper persons. And she tried to legally sway me from saying I was impropria persona sui juris. Not only was she trying to do that, she was trying to write it down on my paper. I had to stop her from writing on the paper. So, fast forward, she was like, well, go over there then. Like, she went from sweet as pie to very angry with me, because she knew that I'm one of the ones that you cannot make money off me. You will not make money off me. It's not going to happen. So, fast forward, and I run into this, it's this arrogant lawyer guy, and he's like, he has an attitude, and, so he calls out, he's calling out a bunch of guys and saying what they're faced with, what's going to happen, what you're going to do, and this and that, da-da-da-da. And, well, I'm sorry. Let me back it up a little bit. After I spoke to the paralegal, I went to the court, and they called Christopher M. Jackson, or Christopher Michael Jackson. And I said, verbatim, word for word, I said, for the record, my Moorish title is Micah Haran Bey, impropria persona sui juris. For the record, I need your delegation of authority, your status, and your nationality. For the record, the unlawful status of Negroes, blacks, and colors has no judicial standard law whatsoever. For the record, you took an oath to uphold the Zodiac Constitution, and you have failed to do so, hence me being here under threat, duress, and coercion. And I don't even think I got that far, actually. I don't even think I got that far. They were cutting the mic off, and they were like, she was giving the hand signal to the bailiff to push me out of the courtroom. That was the first time. First appearance and second appearance went exactly like that. Now the second appearance with this judge, this magistrate by the name of Whitehead, and he was a prick, and pretty much went the same way and pushed me out. So full speed ahead, and I run into this lawyer guy, and during the 3 weeks that I had left in 33rd jail in Orlando, it's a real shithole for those who've never been there before. I ran into this lawyer guy, and I told him, same thing, they kept trying to send PDs. There's something called a blue box when you go to jail, and you're in the meantime at court, you speak to your PD and they ask you, are you legally competent to govern your own affairs? Are you this? Are you that? Such and such, and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, same thing, I just would tell the PD, I said, when did I agree to acquiesce? Or, when did I perform tacit acquiescence? And tacit acquiescence just means that, I waive all rights. And if you have a public defender or a lawyer, you are under the status of black, and all your rights are waived, and you are not allowed to speak in court, and you are literally equivalent to a dead body in court. They know that. They know that in order to be white, white means Moorish in the tribunal or sovereign. In order to be sovereign to this land, Maghrib al-Aqsa, you have to be Moorish. I don't see anybody else in here, and that's what I said also when I went to court. I said, for the record, I am, because the magistrate was they do that. They're trying to scream and yell, and you see the bailiffs with the guns, and you see the whole nine, you see the whole get down, and it's pretty intimidating, to ones that don't know and to the ones that refuse to stand on your square. So I said, for the record, I'm the only white sovereign man in this room, so that I think that entitles me to a lot, because she was like, well, you don't have a right to speak in this courtroom. I said, for the record, I'm the only white sovereign man in this room, and I think that entitles me to a lot. And she said, well, you're going to speak, and then I'm going to speak. So it immediately changed, because she knew that I knew. But she was on her high horse, and, pretty much they ejected me out the courtroom. So I gave them the look like, you assholes, I'm going to fight. I don't give a damn what the hell I got to go through. I don't give a damn. I already made up my mind. I am prepared to lay in my bed for as long as I got to lay in my damn bed until I get this shit over with. And I wasn't going home. I wasn't taking no damn deals. I don't need, I'm legally competent to govern my own affairs, so I don't need to talk to you. And I'm going to speak to this magistrate myself. And, full speed ahead. We, they sent this PD at me, and now keep in mind, you guys, I violated my probation with a fresh drug charge, not any drug charge. I had about a couple of grams of heroin on me, so I violated with a very fresh drug charge, and violated my probation of 10 years for that. So she was like, well, the judge has, said that she wants to come to agreement that you, she said some tacky, stupid shit she said about apologizing, and they're gonna just let you out of jail, pretty much get out of jail for free card. They're not gonna hold you anymore. So they kept me in jail for 33 days. Now the 33-day motion was going to take place, but they already had made it up in their mind that we got to get this damn guy out of here they removed me under the 33-day motion, but they already made it up in their mind that they knew I was going to fight, because the 2 times I went to first appearance, the word had started to spread around the jail that there's a guy in here that pretty much knows what he's doing. Now, there were other Moorish brothers in the jail that I met that were not standing on their square and that were not using their knowledge. I was not judgmental, because a couple years before that, I didn't stand on my square and I wasn't using the knowledge either. So, I understood maybe what might have been plaguing the brothers, and it might have, just may very well have been fear. The same thing that plagued me was fear, So I was not judgmental. I was not, thinking of it like, oh, hey, man, you brothers is full of it. You're full of doo-doo, and, you're not standing on your square. It was nothing like that, because I already I knew what it was for me. I knew that I had shit that I had to do, and I knew that I could not run this time. And if I didn't stand up, on my square and let these brothers know, and represent for the brothers that know and don't know, it's just gonna be bad for me. And if they could have put the nail in the coffin, they would have. Because once again, the sole purpose of you being there is for them to adjudicate you of everything you have. That's it. Now, during that time, I also went to child support court, and this was fairly quick. I was in there for maybe 1 or 2 minutes. I was shackled to another brother, and they call Christopher N. Jackson. I said for the record, my Moorish title is Micah Haran Bey Impropria Personae Juris, and I just stared at it. So you said you're not such and such. So I ignored it, and I said, for the record, I need a delegation of authority or status, your nationality. For the record, the unlawful status of Negroes, blacks, and colors has no judicial stand-down law whatsoever. And then some other lady across from me was like, oh, this is not necessary. And the magistrate was like, so you're not such and such, da da da. I said, for the record, are you trying to tell me who I am? Because this sounds a little wacky in here. And she was like, she gasped, and she was looking around, and she already had threw the hand signal to the bailiff to unchain me from the other brother, and they already was dealing with him, and they took me out of chains and started taking me out of the room. And the bailiff was so nervous with his keys and everything, because he's like, he never seen it or witnessed it before, and he was a brother, and he was like, man, what the, he wanted to ask me, like, I seen the look on his face, he wanted to ask me, brother, what the hell was that? What was that? What you were doing? And but he didn't, of course. Make a long story short, man. They released me on my own recognizance under the 33-day motion. But I fought, man. And I think my ancestors were proud of me. I think I felt proud. I felt like I stood on my square. I think I represented myself to the best of my abilities. And once these Europeans know, once they know, they back off. They back off really fast. It's a literal puppet master game. If I'm, the corporation of Christopher Michael Jackson, keep in mind, this is in all capital letters. When it's in all capital letters like that, that means a corporation. You're a business. And you look at any type of official business lettering you get in the mail, it's like that. So they are here to make money. You guys, I encourage the brothers and sisters, man, to stand on your square and, conquer your fears and do like I did, man. I did a lot of studying. I still have a lot of studying to do. My journey is not over with, man, and I thank y'all for tuning in, man. Thank you for tuning in. This your boy, Pharaoh Michael, All the Above Podcast. Study well, Morris. Study well. Free yourself, because they're not going to do it.